Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Get ready because today we're talking about a game changer that will completely reshape how goods move across America. Imagine a single train stretching from the sunny beaches of California all the way to the bustling ports of the East Coast, carrying everything you can think of: steel, cars, even your groceries. Well, that's exactly what's on the table right now. Two of America's biggest train companies, Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern, just announced a massive, jaw-dropping deal worth an incredible $85 billion. If it gets the green light, this isn't just a business merger. It's a historic moment that could create the very first coast-to-coast freight train line under one company's control. We're talking about a network spanning over 50,000 miles across 43 states, connecting nearly 100 ports. This could be a huge win for American business, promising faster shipping and major economic growth. But don't cheer yet. This deal faces some serious roadblocks and heavy opposition. What are these powerful groups fighting against? We'll dive into all the controversies, who stands to lose, and what this means for your wallet. Stick around to the very end because I'm going to reveal the single biggest challenge the super railroad will face, something that could impact every single American and fundamentally change our economy. You won't want to miss it. All right, let's break down this monumental merger. Union Pacific, which primarily covers the western U.S., is planning to buy Norfolk Southern, which operates mainly in the eastern U.S. This isn't just about combining two big companies, it's about creating a seamless transportation artery across the entire country. For decades, moving goods by train from one coast to the other has meant a tricky process, handing cargo off from one train company to another. Think about it like driving across the country but having to switch cars at the Mississippi River, a huge hassle. This proposed merger eliminates that. The combined company would be called the Union Pacific Transcontinental Railroad. It would be headquartered in Omaha, Nebraska, where Union Pacific is currently based. The CEOs are making some bold promises about what this new giant train line will deliver. Faster service. They expect to cut transit times by a day or two for cross-country shipments. This means products get where they're going quicker, from steel in Pittsburgh to California, or tomato paste from California to Ohio. Economic boost. The companies believe this merger will revitalize American manufacturing, drive economic growth, and even create more jobs, especially for union workers. Union Pacific CEO even says it could lead to job growth and that current union jobs will be preserved. Increased competition. This new mega railroad aims to take business away from trucks and even compete more effectively with Canadian train companies that operate in the U.S. They say rail is more cost-effective and fuel-efficient for freight. Less highway congestion. By moving more freight onto trains, they expect to reduce the number of trucks on our roads, which means less wear and tear on taxpayer-funded highways. The current Norfolk Southern CEO said the stars are aligned for this deal, pointing to increased domestic manufacturing and a more open-minded government administration to such combinations. They're aiming to close this deal by early 2027, following necessary approvals. The value of this deal is staggering. Union Pacific is offering $20 billion in cash plus stock for Norfolk Southern. This means Norfolk Southern shareholders would get about $89 in cash for each of their shares, plus a share in the new combined company. This offer is a 25% premium over Norfolk Southern's stock price before the rumor started flying. The total value of the combined companies would be an astounding $250 billion. They also expect to unlock about $2.75 billion in annual benefits from this merger. That's a massive number. This includes around $1.75 billion in new revenue growth and $1 billion in cost savings. But here's the thing. Not everyone is on board with this vision. In the next section, we'll talk about the powerful groups who are strongly opposing this merger and why. This deal, despite all the big promises, is facing some heavyweight opposition. History tells us that previous big train mergers haven't always gone smoothly, sometimes leading to massive problems and gridlock across the rail network. Labor unions are fuming. The largest rail union in the U.S., Smart Transportation Division, has publicly stated they will oppose this merger. They have measured skepticism about its impact on workers, safety, and service. They claim Union Pacific has a troubling safety record, leading the industry in accidents, incidents, injuries, and even fatalities. They accuse Union Pacific of prioritizing their profit numbers over safety and of harassing and retaliating against workers. This is in stark contrast to Norfolk Southern, which they say has been more progressive and pledged not to lay off train workers during economic slowdowns. Shippers are worried. Groups representing train customers are also lining up against this merger. Many shippers have complained about poor rail service for years and fear that more mergers will only make things worse, leading to higher prices and even more unreliable service. About 30% of our nation's freight by weight moves by train, so this affects almost everyone. Atlanta is on edge. Norfolk Southern's current headquarters are in Atlanta, Georgia. If this merger goes through, the company's operations will consolidate in Omaha, Nebraska, which means Atlanta could lose a major corporate headquarters and thousands of jobs. City leaders and neighborhood groups are holding their breath over this potential downsizing. While Atlanta will remain a core location for technology and operations, the loss of the main HQ is a significant concern. Regulatory scrutiny. Any deal this big needs government approval from agencies like the Surface Transportation Board, the federal agency that oversees economic regulation of freight rail. These government watchdogs have set a very high bar for train mergers, especially after past issues where mergers led to major traffic delays. The current administration may be pro-business, but the rail agency is evenly split politically, and the approval process could take about 2 years, potentially into 2027. This isn't just a simple handshake deal. There's a lot on the line, and if this merger is approved, it could trigger even bigger changes across the American train industry. I'll explain that massive ripple effect and the ultimate challenge it creates in our final section. So, if this Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern merger gets approved, what's the bigger picture? Well, industry experts and even the government rail agency are already anticipating a domino effect. There are currently 6 biggest train companies that operate in the U.S. freight system. If Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern combine, it's widely expected that their rivals, BNSF, owned by Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, and CSX would feel immense pressure to merge as well. If both these massive mergers happen, the U.S. freight rail industry, which once had over 30 major players in the early 1980s, would shrink to just 2 giant transcontinental train companies. Imagine that. 2 companies controlling nearly 90% of all U.S. rail freight. This level of concentration is unprecedented and raises huge questions about too much power over prices and service. So, what might the government watchdogs do? To approve such massive mergers, especially the first one, the government rail agency would likely need to impose significant conditions and safeguards to protect shippers and ensure competition. This could include mandatory reciprocal switching rights. This means giving customers the choice to access a second train line, even if only one line directly serves their property. This is crucial for stopping these giants from having a total monopoly over pricing. Open access at key hubs, ensuring that major interchange points like Chicago and Memphis remain open and accessible to all train companies. Automation requirements. Some experts are even pushing for mandatory automation benchmarks, arguing that if only 2 companies control most freight, they need to be as efficient as possible, especially as driverless trucks become a reality. The train companies themselves are confident in approval, stating they structured the deal to enhance competition, not just preserve it. They believe they can avoid the service problems that plagued past mergers by planning for a smooth integration over the multi-year review process. They've also budgeted about $2 billion for things like technology investments to ensure smooth operations. They predict that all 52,000 workers currently employed by both companies will keep their jobs, and with expected growth, there might even be more jobs created through natural turnover. But here's the biggest challenge, the ultimate hurdle for this mega merger. It's the risk of gridlock and nationalization. If these combined systems become bogged down with service problems and disruptions, it could lead directly to calls for the government to take them over. Think about it. Our entire economy depends on these train lines. If they failed to deliver, the consequences would be catastrophic for businesses, consumers, and the entire country. That's the major risk everyone is watching closely. This deal is about more than just two train companies. It's about the future of America's supply chain and economic backbone. It will impact how everything moves across our great nation. If you found this breakdown helpful, smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more crucial updates on the biggest financial stories impacting your world, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.